a live look from the fun run, so why not step into February with some donuts? Well, the Krispy Kreme challenge starts any minute now. You can see runners getting ready, warming up in that cold weather. So they're going to run from NC State's Bell Tower to the Krispy Kreme on Peace Street. Then they're going to eat a dozen donuts and run back. So they got to stretch those muscles so they don't get any cramps, Brian.
Yeah, they do. Thousands, in fact, participate in the 5-mile run every year, raising more than $1.6 million for UNC's Children's Hospital over the past 15 years. Definitely a great cause. Good luck. Pace yourself on that second half of those donuts. Woo! I'm tired for you guys. Outside in Raleigh, Apex, Chapel Hill, and Wake Forest, temperatures are in the upper 30s as the fun run gets ready to get underway, so maybe help burn a few of those extra calories, especially on the second leg of the race. It's 38 in Durham, same thing in Apex and Fuquay Arena, 41 in Smithfield and Irwin, same temperature in Fayetteville. Grace Creek is at 43 degrees. We'll make it to about 50 degrees in Raleigh, 49 Durham, 54 in Fayetteville today. Some peaks of sunshine as we head through the back portion of the day with a very small rain chance as a couple showers pass through with the upper level low. Then we bump to 60 tomorrow, 70 by Wednesday, with the best rain chances arriving Thursday and Friday. Then we'll dry back out as we head into the second weekend of February. If you don't go anywhere, more news and weather during the 8 o'clock hour of CBS This Morning.
On CBS 17 this morning, we're working to bring you unique local content that matters to you.
Here's a live look from our CBS 17 Chevy Weatherbees.
Mid-50s in the Triangle, that's 6 degrees above normal for this time of year.
And we're taking it one step further, bringing you in-depth coverage every morning.
It is a very active scene.
We have a project update for you in South Raleigh.
CBS 17 getting answers for people simply left hanging.
Your questions getting answered, your voice being heard. CBS 17 this morning, weekdays starting at 4:30.
Hello, I'm John Heister for the Heister Automotive Group. You know, one of our core values is serve an attitude. Let's see how our people serve. I serve in a youth ministry.
I donate my time to Rise Against Hunger.
I coach youth football.
I coach youth soccer.
I coach youth baseball.
I am a Dun Sudan clown serving the community. Not only do they serve our community, they've served our country.
Army, Navy, United States Air Force, Marine Corps, ooh-rah!
Not only have they served our community and our country, but they're ready to serve you. So get off your keister and come to Heister.
Like us on Facebook. Search WNCN and stay connected.
Breakfast Club.
There you go. Welcome to CBS This Morning Saturday. I'm Jeff Glor, along with Michelle Miller and Dana Jacobson. Coming up this hour, could this world ever cope without coffee?
Nope.
Unfortunately, it's a crop that may be especially vulnerable to a changing climate. We're going to look at how science is trying to get ahead of the risks to one of the world's most important beverages.
Then they call breakfast the most important meal of the day, and now it's getting that kind of treatment. We'll see how restaurants are getting much more creative with their morning menus.
Plus, it is the time of the year when the skies of the far west are filled with a stunning sight. Hundreds of thousands of birds on their annual migration. But it is only recently that this natural wonder has returned. We'll hear who made the difference and how. That's all ahead.
But first, our top story this hour. President Trump is significantly closer to an acquittal in the Senate, but his impeachment trial is not over yet. And what may be one of the finishing blows, Republicans blocked Democrats from calling new witnesses and introducing new evidence Friday in a 51-49 vote. Maine's Susan Collins and Utah's Mitt Romney were the only two Republicans to back the Democrats' final appeal to make an informed decision when deliberating the president's fate.
I know you're the greatest deliberative body in the world, but not even you can deliberate in a trial without witnesses.
Closing arguments are set for Monday ahead of a final vote on Wednesday. President Trump, who is spending the weekend at his Mar-a-Lago resort in Florida, delivers his State of the Union address with the cloud of impeachment still hanging over him on Tuesday night.
The U.S. government is calling the coronavirus outbreak a public health emergency. A 7th case of the virus was confirmed in the U.S. on Friday. At least 191 other people are being monitored for the disease. In order to limit the spread, anyone traveling to the U.S. from China's Hubei province, where the disease originated, will face a mandatory 14-day quarantine starting Sunday. The nearly 200 Americans flown out of the epicenter of the outbreak in Wuhan are already under a 2-week quarantine at the Air Reserve Base in California. 3 U.S. airlines, Delta, American, and United, are suspending flights between the U.S. and China. One of 2 hospitals the Chinese government is building to treat patients is almost finished, but infection numbers keep rising.
The Trump administration is expanding restrictions on immigrants from 6 additional countries in Africa and Asia. Immigrants from Nigeria, Sudan, Tanzania, Eritrea, Kyrgyzstan, and Myanmar will face increased hurdles in obtaining visas to come to the United States. The restrictions follow President Trump's travel ban that suspended most visas from 6 Muslim-majority countries and North Korea.
Here in New York, police arrested several protesters when demonstrations spilled from the subways into the streets. Heavily armed officers guarded stations Friday as protesters held signs calling for the NYPD to stay out of the subways. Other signs demanded funds be used for elevators and other improvements, including free fares. Protesters skipped paying fares and poured glue into turnstiles. Others sprayed graffiti on the walls.
Mary Higgins Clark, the author known as the Queen of Suspense, has died. Her publisher says Higgins Clark died Friday at her Florida home. Her novels, which highlighted women overcoming danger, made her one of the world's most popular authors. She wrote more than 40 best-selling books, including A Stranger is Watching, Daddy's Little Girl, and The Cradle Will Fall. Mary Higgins Clark was 92.
That was so sad to hear about overnight. Yeah. She was so prolific.
Yeah, and obviously lived a life, but still so many books that are etched in your brain.
They put women at the forefront.
It's about 4 minutes after the hour. Here's a look at the weather for your weekend.
Clouds out the door this morning. It's 38 degrees in Chapel Hill. Look over Keenan Memorial Stadium, and those clouds are going to be a staple for us through the day today. Temperatures haven't moved much this morning. Middle to upper 30s, low 40s across all of central North Carolina. We're on pace to make it to about 50. Small rain chances this evening as an upper level low brings a shower or two by sunset.
You may be like me and love a strong cup of coffee, but the coffee plant itself could use some strengthening.
With your straws.
Yeah, it's got to help protect the crop from climate change. Up next, we're going to see what's being done to protect your morning jolt. Watching CBS This Morning, Saturday.
If your mouth is made to amaze, let Philips Sonicare give its care a raise. If your teeth chew beyond their limit, they've earned 62,000 movements a minute. If your mouth's used to a manual clean, get healthier gums in 2 weeks, guaranteed. If your amazing mouth does more than its share, give it Philips Sonicare. Next level clean, next level care. There's always a way to make life better. Philips Sonicare.
I think the puppy likes pizza. Puppies don't eat pizza.
Thank you for calling Chewy.com or Pet Lover Shop.
Hi, I'm looking for some advice on what to feed our new puppy.
Aw, let's find him something he'll love.
Mom, the puppy peed.
And he seems to think my house is his bathroom.
We carry some great potty pads that I can add to your cart.
Perfect. Would you be able to help us set up his crate?
Of course. Let's walk through it together.
You're a lifesaver.
We're here for you. Food, toys, treats, and answers are all just a click away. Save 30% on your first order today at Chewy.
The beat goes on. The beat goes on. La-di-da-di-dee. La-di-da-di-da. The beat goes on. The beat goes on.
Tanya's mother told her she'd find the perfect bedroom at Badcock Home Furniture and More. And she was right. Again.
You have the freedom to choose at Badcock Home Furniture and More. Choose from this sectional or bedroom set, just $9.98 each. This sectional or bedroom set, just $12.98 each. And save 40% on all signature mattress sets with no credit refused. Only at Badcock Home Furniture and More.
This morning, researchers at the University of California, Davis continue a 3-day coffee sensory summit. The university wants to be a worldwide epicenter of coffee research, just as climate change threatens the multi-billion-dollar industry. Purdue researchers have reported that 3/4 of the farmers in Colombia say droughts have gotten longer. 61% say the land is eroding, and nearly the same number see an increase in crop disease. 5 years ago, a scientific journal warned forward-looking research on adaptation is therefore in high demand across the entire supply chain. That research is now being done in Davis and beyond, in both conventional and novel ways.
The main goal today is to illustrate the principle of conservation of mass.
Bill Ristenpart isn't your average chemical engineering professor.
Part A, we're going to be doing a whole bunch of brews in the Mr. Coffee. Use the same amount of water every time, okay? But then systematically vary the mass of the coffee grounds.
In his Introduction to Chemical Engineering class, The Design of Coffee, students get to discover the science inside a cup of joe.
And then part B, this is really exciting. We get to do our first roast. Are you guys excited about that? Woo! Yeah, okay, cool, right?
Ristenpart started the class in 2013 as a freshman seminar. The idea came to him during, what else? A coffee break with a colleague.
We were drinking coffee one day thinking about how to improve our engineering labs, and she suggested the idea, why don't we have our students take apart a Mr. Coffee drip brewer? And I thought, oh my gosh, why don't we make a whole class about coffee?
The class that started with just 18 students is now attended by 2,000 a year. Its popularity was highlighted a few years back in a campus poll.
One of their questions was, what is the best general education class? And number 1 was the design of coffee. Number 2 was introduction to human sexuality. And number 3 was introduction to beer brewing. And so now we like to say that at UC Davis, coffee is better than beer and sex.
It's a good selling point for a lot of people.
It is. What we didn't anticipate was how much interest there was from the industry. And they came to us and said, hey, you know, we need research. There are a lot of unanswered questions about coffee. Coffee faces a lot of issues, and we would love to partner with somebody in academia.
UC Davis is well known for its agricultural research in fields like beer brewing and viticulture, or wine growing. They actually have a vineyard right on campus.
And so one of our big goals is to make UC Davis an international location of excellence to create an academic talent pipeline to support the coffee industry.
They've already built a coffee center with a prototype pilot roastery run by the former head roaster at Blue Bottle Coffee, a brewing and espresso laboratory, and a dedicated sensory lab. In all, there are about 35 professors teaching courses on everything from food science to global social change in coffee cultures, 1500 to present.
Why do we need somebody who knows how to do these things?
Anything that helps the coffee industry produce better cups of coffee, a higher quality, to increase demand, helps not only people here in the United States, but also there's a tremendous number of people around the world who live in developing countries whose livelihood depends on coffee. And so there's about 100 million people who make a living by picking coffee.
One of the existential threats to their livelihoods and our cups of coffee is climate change.
It's a huge concern. There are lots of discussions right now about whether we'll have coffee in 30 years.
3 years ago, UC Davis had a breakthrough that could have a profound impact on coffee's survival, when Juan Medrano and Alan Van Dynes became the first geneticists to create a reference genome for a coffee bean.
For the layperson, what does that mean when you say there's no genome to reference?
There was no reference genome, so there's no book that tells me what is the sequence and the genes in the coffee genome.
Okay.
And that was very surprising to me, because being an industry that is $20 billion industry, 2.4 billion cups of coffee every year, and there's no genome sequence when most crops have a sequence.
Why do we need the genomes for plants like this?
It's a tool in plant breeding. It's the second most traded commodity in the world, but nobody's looking at it at the plant level.
The pair homed in on C. arabica, the bean behind 70% of worldwide consumption. Coffee is grown almost exclusively outside of the United States, but Van Dynes and Medrano picked a geisha variety grown in Goleta, California, from the Goodland Organics farm we first featured nearly 3 years ago.
All that will set.
Basically, you take leaves of coffee, of a coffee plant.
Right.
And these leaves of coffee plants are macerated, and you extract DNA from the cells inside the leaves.
Okay.
And then you create a collection of DNA fragments.
What we ended up putting together was 1.2 billion base pairs, so pieces of DNA. They're not 100% in order, but they're in very good shape.
The goal is to breed a plant that can grow at higher altitudes and fight diseases like rust.
We say this all the time, but the coffee bean it's magical.
Outside of academia, the Seattle startup Atomo Coffee is taking the exact opposite approach to coffee research. Food scientist Jarrett Stopforth and his co-founder Andy Kleitsch want to make coffee without the bean. They call it molecular coffee.
We talk about how when he told me he wanted to hack coffee that it blew my mind, but it really did. It always gets everyone just imagining, like, what is that? How does that work? Ship it up to Seattle.
Atomo mixes plant-based agricultural byproducts and caffeine that, when combined, mimics actual coffee, down to the aroma and flavor. The company, which launched last February on Kickstarter, has raised $2.5 million in venture capital.
We joke around that this is like the $10,000 cup of coffee right now, but as we scale our production, we'll see our costs drop pretty dramatically, in which we should be able to make coffee that is great tasting, that is actually cheaper to produce than coffee today.
Atomo plans to roll out its cold brew coffee later this year as it waits for patent approval, while UC Davis has made the Arabica genome publicly available to anyone.
Why not make money off of it?
The basic knowledge of the reference genome, it's really an opportunity for many scientists, for many people in different parts of the world to benefit and produce great coffees from it. And that's the ingenuity.
This is pre-competitive research is a good way of looking at it. We're a public institution, and the idea is let's raise the bar for everybody.
Medrano, who's now retired from the university, is a co-founder of Fringe Coffee with Jay Ruski of Goodland Organics.
This is our greenhouse. This plant right here, this one that says geisha.
Yeah.
This is exactly the one that was sequenced. This is a unique hybrid, that is resistant to frost. This coffee has 40% less caffeine.
The midday coffee, so you're not too
coffee,
awake
right.
and not too tired.
But it has a very floral, very exquisite flavor.
The aroma is fantastic. I would say this is an all-day drinking coffee. It's delicious. Really delicious.
And it's sort
Super
of
interesting.
Yeah, I mean, it's the bottom line is, can we make a stronger coffee bean so that it can survive some of the climate change, or can we find other plant-based things that we can combine so that we can have coffee? And that's what both these places are doing, because this is a real issue.
Because UC Davis believes they've scientifically established that coffee is better than beer and sex.
Apparently, according to students.
Well,
according to their
It was in the piece.
I would like to taste for myself, so I'm wondering.
The one without the actual beans.
Yes, I would.
Yeah.
We'll work on that. They're working to get their cold brew released out to the public right now.
Alrighty
Waiting
then.
for some patent approval.
Yeah, well, we're up first. Business deals are often celebrated with a toast. Now they're being sealed over toast. That's what I'm being told. Up next, how the lowly breakfast is gaining new status in restaurants around the nation. You're watching CBS This Morning, Saturday.
This portion sponsored by Toyota. Let's go places.
Good lunch.
Amazing.
Toyota, let's go places. At ProPlan, we believe nutrition is full of possibilities to improve your pet's life. We're redefining what nutrition can do because the possibility of a longer life and a healthy life is the greatest possibility of all. Purina ProPlan, nutrition that performs.
Saturdays happen. Pain happens. Aleve it. Aleve is proven stronger and longer on pain than Tylenol. When pain happens, Aleve it. All day strong.
Can your hair survive damage? Dove Conditioner proves it can. We treat one brush with Dove Conditioner and expose both to damaging conditions. The difference is clear. Dove Intensive Repair Conditioner for smooth, touchably beautiful hair.
Wednesday, the biggest Survivor moments of all time. Survivor at 40, Wednesday, 8/7 Central on CBS.
Thank you, darling.
Why would anybody ever eat anything besides breakfast food?
People are idiots, Leslie.
Nick Offerman's character from Parks and Recreation made it clear how he felt about a hearty breakfast, but it seems we're all getting more serious about that first meal of the day. Jamie Wax is here to tell us just how it's happening right now. Did you have breakfast this morning?
I did not, Michelle, but wait till you see how much breakfast I've had over the course of this story. It used to be something of an afterthought for many restaurants if it was on the menu at all, but now it's really taking center stage. According to recent surveys, the number of U.S. dining establishments offering the morning meal has grown by about 20% in the last 4 years. And we found that what's showing up on those breakfast menus goes well beyond the traditional fare you may be used to.
From traditional bacon, eggs, and pancakes, breakfast in America, while tasty, has lacked the creative focus chefs have given to lunch and dinner. But over the past few years, that has changed in a major way, giving customers a diverse array of thoughtfully crafted options.
Is it fair to say that breakfast is the new dinner?
Well, I would say you still got to eat dinner. But what I like about breakfast now, and by breakfast I mean sort of that weekday meal. We're not talking brunch, but you got much more creative dishes. You have much more healthy dishes.
Adam Rappaport is editor-in-chief of Bon Appetit.
This is not the breakfast we're used to, though.
Yeah, it's a cliche, but breakfast is the most important meal of the day. Chefs are now realizing that, and they want to apply their sort of attention to detail, their creativity to this meal, and I think the customers are responding.
Acclaimed chefs from across the country are bringing their A-game to the morning meal.
This is probably the second most ordered dish on the menu.
And many single out one chef as the pioneer of the current trend.
A lot of people credit you for sort of starting this new movement. Is that fair?
I'll take it. Yeah.
Squirrel is the tiny, bustling LA restaurant that is the baby of Chef Jessica Koslow.
I remember when I was opening Squirrel, a very prominent chef here in LA was like, I will never do breakfast and lunch. There's no margins in it. There's no alcohol. It's a young person's game. Good luck.
When did you know you had really started something that was culture changing?
Maybe right when I opened the door. I felt at that moment so many people responded to having a place that they could have a unique experience in dining, but during the daytime at a price that was more affordable.
You got Shack Toast working? Okay, I need 2 all day.
From popularizing her twists on avocado toasts to creating dishes like crispy rice salad disco and flat tots, an elevated potato pancake, Kozlo has created a breakfast menu that is anything but typical.
I think what's interesting about Squirrel is that they proved that breakfast can be a moneymaker. You can pack the house, and you can also cook really creatively. You can come up with dishes that are just as tempting and invigorating and sort of eye-opening as on a dinner menu.
That is delicious.
Oh, good.
Squirrel's influence has surprised even Kozlo herself.
It is remarkable to see that there's an idea here that other chefs are starting to translate into their own work.
That includes Michelin-starred chefs like Daniel Rose of Le Coucou in New York.
This one is fermented for how long, Neil?
About 3 days.
And famed fine dining maestro Jean-Georges Vongerichten.
Wants to be healthy, colorful. We're good.
Jean-Georges now has breakfast service in 5 of his restaurants. Do you think this breakfast movement in some ways is sort of pushed forward by young chefs like Jessica Kozlo?
Totally. I mean, all those young chefs are really starting a new movement, and I really admire them for, pushing forward. For me, breakfast now become my favorite meal of the day.
Really?
Yeah, absolutely.
To cook and to eat?
To cook it, to eat it.
Could you imagine yourself 46 years ago saying that?
No, absolutely not.
3 years ago, Mason Hereford surprised many by landing the #1 spot on Bon Appetit's list of new American restaurants with his New Orleans sandwich shop, Turkey and the Wolf.
Matcha on the side.
Hereford has also gotten high marks for his newer breakfast-focused restaurant, Molly's Rise and Shine, which he runs with his fiancée, Lauren Agudo.
This is kind of our piece of Americana breakfast sandwich. It's got sausage, fried hash brown, American cheese, griddled onions, and then ketchup. This is sort of one of the weirder dishes. It's a deviled egg tostada with peanut salsa and refried red bean, pickled peppers, onions, cilantro.
This smells unbelievable.
Yeah, that one's, I think that's one of my faves.
Even so, if you're a fan of traditional morning fare who finds all these new choices a bit overwhelming, Adam Rappaport says not to worry. There's still room for everyone at the table.
There's always going to be diners out there. There's always going to be the basic places that we all love to go to get our stack of pancakes or fried eggs and bacon.
Sometimes we just want a greasy plate of eggs and bacon.
Yeah. Let's say you might have had a drink or two the night before. You're just like, I just need some hash browns and bacon and eggs, and I'm good.
One of the things that's happening now is what used to be the Power Lunch meeting is turning into the Power Breakfast. That, along with these partnerships that are forming between hotels and high-end chefs, are part of the reason that we're focusing on breakfast this week.
And perhaps why they're serving more cocktails.
Yes.
Morning meetings.
There were morning cocktails at multiple of these places.
Tremendous. No food here, though.
I know. No, I'll bring you some later. We'll have some of these chefs send us some food.
I say breakfast every meal of the day.
Can you
breakfast,
have
lunch, and dinner?
Can you have a power meal every meal?
Sure.
Yeah.
Why not?
Why not?
You have Power Life.
Good stuff.
Jamie, thank you. It is a conservation effort that is truly for the birds. Up next, we're going to take you to the West Coast to see how a coordinated plan turned a nearly barren region into a world teeming with life.
And next week on CBS This Morning Saturday, it was nearly shut out at the Oscars, but nearly 50 years after its release, Chinatown is considered one of the best movies Hollywood ever produced. We're going to speak to the author of a fascinating new book that looks at how this masterpiece was made. You're watching CBS This Morning, Saturday.
I'm Tony DeCopel in Iowa. This is where it all starts.
Top 3 issues that are going to decide the vote.
Economy, the tariffs.
Biofuels and trade.
Our little farmers are dying out.
Health benefits.
Join us as Americans begin the process of picking their next president.
The Iowa caucuses. Coverage begins on CBS This Morning, Monday on CBS.
Now, local news that matters. This is CBS 17 News.
Good morning. Your time now is 8:27. I'm Randy Ayala. Brian Hutton Jr. is tracking your morning forecast. But first, let's get to our top story right now. You're hearing newly released radio transmissions between Raleigh officers regarding a deadly officer-involved shooting.
It's going to be reference to an older black male wearing his old jacket. Dropped a large black 1032 near the dumpsters at that location.
Police identified 52-year-old Keith Collins as the man in the gold jacket. He was later shot and killed by a Raleigh police officer. The FBI is still piecing together exactly what led up to the shooting, but Raleigh police say Collins pulled out a gun and the officer shot him several times. Well, let's take a live look. Why not step into February with some donuts? It sounds like a good idea, right? Well, the Krispy Kreme challenge is going on right now. As you can see, people just waiting. The runners are already off to a good start. They ran from NC State's Bell Tower to the Krispy Kreme on Peace Street. They eat a dozen donuts, then they run back. It looks like